What's going on, y'all? So listen.
What's going on, y'all? So we are back again for another episode review of The Shy. This is season 3, episode 7, A Stain. So we're gonna go. I will say before we get into the episode, this was a good episode to me. And it was a good episode because it kept me on the edge of my seat. I was in suspense, baby. Okay. And there was a couple of times where Ashley shed a tear. Okay. Probably shed a tear or two, or my eyes watered up. One of the above. Okay. That's happened. And I hope it don't pick up, but y'all, 1:30 in the morning, my neighbors decided to want to play the music in the back. So I just hope it don't pick up in the girl. It's 2 o'clock right now. It's 2 o'clock. Anyway, and they still going. Why? Should y'all be asleep? Anyway, so The Shy. Let's just get some of the smaller storylines out before we get to the main storyline. So we get Emmett and Dom. Emmett and Dom, baby, listen, we already saw this stuff coming, what was going on with them. So they go meet up with this realtor or slash landlord type of person named Zeke, played by the comedian Chicago's own Lil Rel. Okay. And so, they trying to get Sonny booted out of his place and them to take over. And at this point, Zeke, he's like, I know Sonny. I grew up on Sonny's chicken. What, you don't like him and all this stuff? And it was like, no, we just the new generation. It's our time to shine and all this stuff. And it was like, what makes you think that I will boo him out of why would you think it'd be a good idea to evict him out of the place and then to give it to y'all? And it was like, you need somebody that needs to bring more foot traffic to the place, okay? It doesn't make sense for us to at this moment to it don't make sense for them. I'm thinking for them to go get a new place or whatever, instead of just going ahead and evicting Sonny out of this place because he's behind on the bills. He can't keep up with the payments of the mortgage or whatever, the rent. And so therefore it's already customers coming, foot traffic coming that way. So therefore you will get more people coming in and you will get the money on time to pay up on the rent and all this stuff. At one point you can see that Zeke was kind of thinking it over, letting it roll around in his head that that's what he probably gonna do, go ahead and, oblige them a little bit. And Dom thought, let me give him a piece of cake or whatever, to put the cherry on top. And of course, she was trying to bribe him a little bit, but it didn't work. Mind you, Emmett had to bring his son with him, and so at this point, the baby started saying dada or something like that. And he was like, you brought him here to bribe me or to butter me up or whatever. And so that kind of like killed the whole thing or whatever. And so later on, we see this whole situation with Jada. Jada, as the episode opens up, we have Ronnie at his grandmother's funeral or memorial service at the bar, at a freaking bar. And he's giving this toast or whatever, and saying how much of a good grandmother she was to him. And even when his mother wasn't there for him, the grandma always came there, saw potential in him, and he wants to live up to the potential that she thought that she saw in him. Okay. And so he's sitting down at the bar talking to his two friends, and kind of find out them two are getting ready to leave and go down to Springfield because one of their cousins it has a warehouse that's hiring, and nobody's hiring up here in Chicago, so therefore they're about to go down there, and they trying to get him to come down there too. Mind you, he just had a conversation with Jada. Jada showed up and was basically like, because he was like, Jada, I'm surprised to see you. She was like, listen, Miss Ethel, she was a friend of mine. She wasn't just a patient, she was a friend. So I'm here to show support and give my love and all that. It was like, I meant to apologize for the things that happened the last time we seen each other when we was together. Jada had to stop that. She said, wait a minute, listen, first of all, we was never together. I said, Jada, you almost had sex with this man. So what you talking about, y'all went together? But okay, I get what you're saying. Y'all was dating. Y'all was trying to fill the situation out. He was like, well, the last time I seen you, I want to apologize for all of that. And then, she was basically like, you need to get yourself together, okay? You was trying to, when I saw you the last time, you was flat out drunk. Mind you, you was supposed to be trying to get sober. And now I see you again, and you're also drinking again. You need to work on you before you can help anybody else, okay? And so they had their little thing. Next thing you know, we see him talking to his friends, and he's talking about he might want to get sober. Maybe the 14th time is the time that'll do it. And then the way that the friends reacted was like, "What? You really want to do that?" I said, say yes. Okay, I'm here for you. Go ahead and do it. Rah, rah, rah. Don't say, yeah, you really want to do that? Like, why would you want to do that? I'm sitting here like, supportive friends, huh? Supportive friends. Wow. All right. Moving on. Jada is out with Tomas, and they're coming back from a date or whatever, and things are getting hot and heavy. Okay, they kissing in the hallway. You know, she was like, "You want to take this upstairs and everything." And so at this point, they go up to the. She opens up the door, and they got it a mess. Tiffany and Emmett got it a mess up in there, and of course, Jada is pissed, and she leaves out with Tomas. Tomas, he kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit because I'm like, I understand what he's saying, and what he was saying was correct. Okay, Jada is letting Emmett walk over him, and why are you doing this? Why are you letting them stay? And you are the reason for this, and woo woo woo. And I get where he was coming from, but I just felt like, I don't know how long y'all been dating, and I was on Jada's side, like, you don't know my life like that. So for you to come at me the way that you coming at me, I didn't need to hear that from you, okay? The way that he was saying it, it didn't rub me right, okay? Granted, he was saying the truth. You enable Emmett, and she knows it. She even admitted it herself, okay? But it's that whole thing about the baby being there, and that's her only son and all that stuff, whatever. But she kicked him out once before, and he found his way. That's why, even though Tomas don't know this, that's why when he said that, they won't be homeless or whatever. But you really don't know. You really don't know. Okay, but she comes back into the house, and she's upset. She's hollering at them. She's like, "You guys are living rent free in my apartment. The least you can do is clean it up." Okay, I'll be so glad when you guys are gone at the end of the week next week. And they was like, see about that? She was like, "No, oh my God. What is it? Well, we gonna need to stay. How long? Probably till the end of the year." She was just over it at this point, and she went in her room just snapping off. And I would be too. Tiffany trying to make it seem like it's just Emmett, and I told Emmett that that's the least he can do. And she was like, "Girl, don't try, because you can do something too, okay? You in on this too." And I was just like, I understand the feeling, Jada, but this is what you put up with, and this is what you help create, okay? But Emmett is also a grown man, and he needs to see his ways, that he needs to go ahead and put his foot down and try to be serious about stuff. And I understand that he's trying to be serious about this catering stuff, but I really wish that, or this business stuff with the restaurant, but I really wish that he probably would have went and did something else and tried to find his own dream. I truly do not feel like this restaurant type business, whatever, is his dream. He's just carrying it on from Brandon, and it's kind of lazy to me, if you ask me, because you're piggybacking off of somebody else's stuff, and it's not your passion. And in the long run, even if you do get it up and running, it's not going to be yours, and he's going to eventually lose the passion and the fervor for it, okay? So she felt the way about that. Moving on from that, Dom winds up calling Emmett, or Emmett calls Dom, or goes over there to Dom's place. She still got her place where she do her little makeshift restaurant under the her little under what is it called? Underground restaurant. That's what it is. Because she ain't really up and running like she's supposed to. She ain't got the permits and stuff. Okay. And he runs over there, and he tells her, "Well, Zeke, he tasted your cake, and he couldn't stop raving about it. And he want us to do this catering gig, because the caterer that he had at the moment dropped out completely, and they need to cater for like 20 people or so at this dinner tonight." And so Dom was thinking about it, but she was like, "Okay, you let me do all the stuff or whatever." Emmett has to convince her. So they get to the little event. Mind you, this is this event with Duda. It's like a political type thing, a campaigning type thing, because you have Duda there, and you also have Camille there too. Camille, this whole situation with Duda and Camille is going head to head, and I didn't even think about the fact that it's two black candidates until Gemma's dad, because he was also there. It was him that was sponsoring it. He was there, and he was trying to figure out who he was going to give his vote to. Earlier, Duda was all in his happy about the fact that he is exceeding, Camille in the polls. And Rose had to tell him, you got to calm that down because that don't mean nothing, okay? Because she was a little upset at the fact that he went out there, did that interview, and she was saying, he was like, it worked. She said it could have backfired. That's what she was upset at. You supposed to run things by me. I supposed to help you with your campaign, manage this whole thing. You not running stuff by me. Girl, the reason why Rose and Duda is having the issues that they are having, and the reason why they've been separated a little bit and going through what they're going through, Duda in his feelings because Rose then cheated on him with his secretary, a woman. First of all, she was like, I only fucked the bitch a few months. I said, Candy. Girl, she say she bisexual. She do women too. So I was like, you playing true to form, huh? Okay, that was funny. Meanwhile, he called Jake down there. Jake came down there with an attitude too, boy. Jake was like, what? What you want? He was like, what you talking to me like that for? What, you ain't gonna do nothing about it? He was like, boy, he said, what, you gonna hit me? Go ahead and hit me and give me a black eye or whatever. This not gonna look right for your campaign. And I said, oh, Mr. Jakey Jake. Because last week, Trick told Jake that Duda had his son had Willie Reg killed or whatever. So now he thinking about it. Meanwhile, Candy, aka Rose, was up in there giving Duda a shave, looking like Mr. and City from The Color Purple, and was talking about that boy know that you and think that you killed his brother. Okay, he was trying to deny it at first, but at the end of the day, he kind of admitted it, and she said you need to take care of that because if you don't, you're gonna wake up with a knife to your throat. Okay, if he truly feels this way, you gonna wake up to a knife to your throat. And then he had to come up in there and talk to Jake and simmer the situation down. And he was like, I didn't have your brother killed, but your brother was involved in something that would have started a war, or he had to make a sacrifice. He couldn't do both. And so he was like, you had my brother killed. And he was like, okay, at the end of the day, it is what it is. He was like, why you didn't protect him, or why you up here protecting me then? It was like, because I see potential in you. I see myself in you. He was like, so I'm going to grow up to be a crook like you? He said you could be, but I don't want you to be live your life in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting here like, I don't buy that shit, Duda, but you using him because of this political stuff. It makes you look good in this story that you're trying to, this narrative that you're trying to portray. But back at this event, Gemma's dad was trying to figure out which candidate to support, give the money to. And at this point, to endorse, I should say, he has the biggest endorsement deal to give to them. And it's a situation now because they are splitting the black vote. And so at this point in time, he was saying one of y'all got to drop out. And so, he was like, well, who we going to figure out to drop out? He wound up giving the money to Otis because he said he see Otis in him, and he feel like the Chicago needs a man as a mayor, a black male mayor. And so, Camille goes through this whole thing about how they trying to Shirley Chisholm her, and she ran for president, and men didn't vote for her. And so, just like the Phoenix, she's gonna rise from the ashes as well and do what she gotta do, okay? Because she was like, I ain't that bitch. You know what I'm saying? I said, oh, all right, do what you gotta do. Meanwhile, Emmett and Dom is through with the event. They cleaning up. Z comes through and was like, listen, y'all did a good job. The food was good. This fancy black food, I didn't even know black people can make fancy black food. Probably gonna get fancy black diabetes and all this stuff. And then he was like, so listen, since y'all sold me on the food and I gotta see if this a fluke or whatever, I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and rent out Sunny for a few months. A few months just to see if this is real. Okay? And so that was cool. Next thing you know, they having champagne. Zeke done left out. Emmett was Dom and Emmett celebrating or whatever. They all close to each other. Girl, Emmett was trying to walk away. Dom pulled him to her, and they started kissing, and they started having sex right there. I said, the door is not locked. Z could have turned right around and came right back in there, and y'all are banging it out right there. I said, Emmett, now last week the tarot card lady said that your dick is just the force that's messing up everything because old girl puss ain't enough for you. And what you do, go and show that. Okay, I said we already knew they was gonna fuck around, and that's what wound up happening. Meanwhile, moving on from there, we had this whole situation with Keisha. Well, not Keisha, Maisha. Papa go over there to Maisha place. Send her some little flowers or whatever, trying to walk her to school. She can't go to school because she has to babysit her brothers and sisters again, like she did in like I think the first season when we first saw her. And what wound up happening is her mother got laid off, and so she has to stay home and babysit. And of course, Papa is upset because that's one of the main ways that they get to see each other, and that's during school or whatever, And so she was like, just be quiet, don't say nothing, because I think he suggested talking to his dad, and he was like, no, don't say nothing because my mama don't want nobody to think anything about this and know her business or whatever. But Papa goes to the church and goes in his dad's office and was looking through the money of that was collected, and the dad called him and was like, what are you doing? Okay. It was like, you said that this money is for somebody that needs to be helped for the good things or whatever. We need to get this money to Maisha. And he was like, the money that we collect in the collection plate is to keep the lights on. Okay, that's what it is. And he was like, what about the money that you got from Camille? It was like, that money is for the stuff that me and you need, that you need. He said, well, I got everything I need. Okay, so why don't you just give this money to Maisha? And it was like, you know what, son, you got a good heart, but that ain't how this works. And he was like, well, if I got a good heart, then what is your heart at? I said, oh, Papa, come through. And it shook the daddy enough to have him bring the money over there to Maisha's place, to her mother, who didn't want it because she didn't want to take charity. And Maisha, the way that she came walking up in there when she called her name, you can tell like that girl began holler there all the time. Okay, all the time. Like her mama be taking her frustrations out on her, and I ain't like that. I ain't like that. I really didn't. But the mama accepted the money for the most part, and that was that. Um, what else wound up happening? Okay, we got Ronnie little situation out the way for the most part. Okay, let's get to the Keisha, Emmett, Jada. Okay, Keisha. First of all, we see Dre. I'm not finna do that. We see Dre and Nina up in her room, and Nina trying to pack her stuff away, but she can't. And Dre is on this whole plane like we have to go ahead and face reality that she's not gonna come back. Okay, we have to start the grieving process. Nina is not there yet, and I don't listen. I understand Dre is trying to be there for Nina and trying to get her mental state back to a stable place. But I truly don't feel like it was her place to tell Nina that she needs to pack the stuff up and that what she needed to do with her child. Because technically, just because y'all are married, that's Nina, baby. That baby came out of her. So if she want to keep on holding off hope that her baby is still out there and she's going to find her baby some way, somehow, sometime or whatever, whether it's today, tomorrow, or years from now, let her do that. That is her process of dealing with this whole situation. I didn't like the way that she was trying to, and I know she was just trying to help, and she probably didn't mean it in a bad way and trying to come off like she did, but it just, the tone of it just didn't sit well with me. I'm like, let her grieve. She's still grieving. Okay. You was talking about something that start the process of grieving. She is in the process of grieving. She's not ready to accept what is going on. She's not trying to give up hope, and it seems like Dre gave up hope a little bit. It's like she want to move on from this situation, and it's not ready for her to move on, and it's not up to her to move on from that. Okay, and at this point, Nina then got pissed off at her, and she was like, you know what, get your shit and get out. Okay, girl, Nina then went up into the room, got a little duffel bag, got Dre's drawers, got her strap, got her ring and everything, and said, girl, you can get the punk out. Okay, I said, oh wow, not the strap. I'm surprised she didn't cut it up. Because girl, once they cut that shit up, it's over and it's done with, bitch. But anyway, lesbians. Um, hmm. Don't ask me how I know. Just know that I know, girl. Anyway, moving on from that. We see Ronnie. He's going. Well, we see Kevin. Kevin at school. I forgot about this. Kevin at school talking to Jake. And what is wrong with Jake mouth? I'm just wanting to say that. I thought his lips was getting a little bit better. It looked like he needs some medication around his lips, whatever. But anyway, like he's lick. It seems like he lick his lip. Do he? Jake? Do you lick your lips a lot? Cause that can happen too. Cause my little sister, that happened to my little sister. She used to lick her lips too much, and it got like a little that she had to have some medicated lip balm to put on that from the doctor to clear it up. Girl was a little rash or whatever. I said, what's going on with Jake mouth? But anyway, I've been trying not to say that this whole season. And it just came out. But anyway, he feeling some type of way still about Gemma. Jake, of course, talk about some, fuck that bitch. Don't even look at her. Don't even talk to her. Why you up in messing with her? She the one to put your business out there and all this stuff. Jake, like Trig said, you probably like Gemma too. Okay, that's probably what it is. And when Kevin was walking out the building, Kevin saw Gemma. He put his headphones in, acting like he didn't see her. Gemma sitting on that bench, and she gets up and go over that to him. She was like, "Come on, don't do that. Don't be cold. It's been 2 days since you talked to me or whatever." And he was like, "No, come on. What is it? What is it? I told you I ain't want to be treated like no charity case, and you up here running your mouth telling everybody about my sister and all that shit. Okay, that's what it is." And she was like, "Come on." And she couldn't get through to him the way that she wanted to. Baby, Mama done used her feminine wiles already. I said, we starting young, huh? She done whispered up in his ear and said, my dad is not going to be home. Do you want to come over? I said, wait a minute. No, Miss Gemma. No, we're not about to do that. Next thing you know, it's like it's like the scene from The Wood when they was up in the bedroom and he sit there with his shirt open. She about to take her stuff off. I said, "What in the house parties? What is going on? I don't want to see this." And he was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" She said, "Yeah, come on, because you have my consent." I said, "Oh no." Oh no, we're not about to watch this. Girl, right when they was about to go ahead and kiss and everything, her daddy popped up. Okay, her daddy popped up and pulled him out there. They would have got away with the stuff had he not had the wrong book, because Jimmy was like, "Hey Dad, Kevin is just over here, we're studying French." He got a upside down geometry book because he was like, "You got the wrong book." He was like, "Oh." He was like, "Kevin, come with me." And she was like, "It's gonna be okay." I said, "Girl, pooh." Meanwhile, when the episode starts off with Keisha, Keisha is laying in the bed and Omari is in the bed with her. And it looked like he was naked. Now, y'all tell me, did he rape her? Did he have sex with that girl? It was I'm going to say rape because, it wasn't of her own free will. Because I know he got out the bed eventually. He going to say something. I overslept. Why didn't you wake me up? You know, but it's understandable because we both had a long night. I said, "Oh my God." When I saw that girl, I liked to cry. I like to cry. It was just Keisha's expression laying there. I was just sitting here like, oh no. Y'all gotta get Keisha out of there now. Get her out of captivity. I said I knew it was gonna escalate to this. So he 9 and 10s did have sex with her, even though she still had her clothes on underneath that, because she was plotting her escape. He was like, "I'm gonna go get some breakfast or whatever." He gets up, go out, she go and put her pants on, and she go to the chair, break the chair. So when he come back down there, she tried to attack him, and of course, he got the upper hand over her, and he was almost about to punch her, but he stopped, and he said, "You have one more of these outbursts like this, I'm not gonna be nice next time." Okay. Meanwhile, Ronnie is going door to door in the neighborhood trying to get answers and see if they heard somebody screaming at night. It was this one particular neighbor that was sitting outside her window as always, and she was like, "You ain't gonna get no help or whatever you looking for out here looking like that." And he was like, "I'm just asking people, did they hear some screaming the night before, because the neighbor across the street said that he came from over here." It was like, ain't nobody over here was screaming. It was like, oh, the neighbor across the street. He was like, he a little touched. It was like, what about his wife? Oh, he ain't got no wife. And then Ronnie was like, bet, that's all that I need. He was like, he a little weird, he said he got a bad vibe from him and everything. So he goes in the back alley, goes through the back, through his stuff in the back of the yard, finally get the door open. Next thing you know, he get this plier, okay? Plier or wrench or whatever. Crowbar. And so he bust the door open. He tried to bang it with his arm, but that didn't help. So he kicked it open, and then he goes into the back, and he was like, Keisha? I said, what if dude was there? But obviously, he probably knew that he wasn't because his car wasn't there. So, Keisha was sitting there, and Keisha was going through the motions. Like, he done took everything about that room. The only thing that she had was the bed sheets and everything. And she had a noose up there. Like, she was really contemplating taking her life. Like, that was the only way she saw fit of getting out of there. And I said, oh my God. This whole part with Keisha was having my nerves crazy. And, he saw the door. He opens up the door, goes down the steps. And he was like, Keisha. She was like, I'm here, help. And I was like, oh my God, get her, Ronnie. I said, of all people, Ronnie really gonna be the one to save and get redemption. Okay, if that's what y'all want to go with, go with. I'm just gonna go along for the ride. He see all the locks on the door and he tried breaking them. At this time, the back door is still busted open. Omari brings his ass up there. He pulls up and he sees it. And he comes running up in there. Finally get the door open. Ronnie was like, it's me, Keisha. It's okay. I'm finna get you out of here. Omari come down there like, what the hell are you doing? And this and woo. Girl, they start fighting. Ronnie falls down. Omari falls down. Keisha started jumping on his back or whatever. Knock her down. She gets the crowbar and just start welling and going to town on him. Okay? And at this point, we see Keisha comes up outside through the front door. And she's seeing all the light. You could tell that she hasn't seen natural sunlight in a long time by the way her eyes are reacting and everything. And I was just like, oh my God, Keisha is getting out. Thank you, Lord. I said, Keisha, run, girl. Run. We not finna do this. Okay, that's not what we gonna do. I was sitting there like, Keisha, when she fell down and Ronnie and him was fighting, I said, fuck that crowbar shit. Girl, run your ass up out there and scream for help. That's what you better do. Girl, she did what she had to do, though. Ronnie stayed down there and beat that man ass and continued it, because I don't know if he dead or not. We didn't see him get pulled out of the house with handcuffs or nothing like that. But we saw Ronnie come out the house, beat down, like he was exhausted and beaten on the stretcher. And then they had Keisha on the stretcher too. And I was like, thank you, Jesus, they had her. Okay. Meanwhile, back over at Gemma's house, when her daddy was trying to talk to her, then they had a whole bunch of conversation that was going on that we couldn't hear. And then all of a sudden, when audio comes up, he said, was you trying to fuck my daughter? He was like, what? Saved by the phone, because the phone was ringing and he got a text or whatever saying come to the hospital. That's what I'm assuming, because next thing you know, he was like, I gotta go. And we see him running to the hospital and was like, is it sure that that's her? It was like, yes, it's her, but we gotta wait till they finish doing their test or whatever. Keisha is well, Keisha is okay, Keisha is there. You got Nina and Dre at the hospital. They finally go in to see her. And what part of this that really touched me? First of all, I was sitting here about to cry right then and there. I was like, oh my God, this is cute. Because I really thought, I said, oh my God, this is what we've been waiting for. I thought Kevin was about to break down. I was waiting for that because he has not broken down yet. But when they was all hugging each other and Dre walked up there and because Nina had to let Dre know, Keisha don't even like you earlier when they was getting in that argument. She was like, she never even liked you before. Okay. At that moment when all of them was together in that hospital room and Keisha reached over there for Dre and grabbed her hand to pull her through, I said, bitch, that shit took me out. I'm sitting here like, why is this getting to me? Oh my God, Keisha is free. She gonna be fucked up for life, but Keisha is free. We saw the doctor try to tell Dre what they need and, to look out for certain things like suicide or whatever, and we found out that Dre is also a counselor at the high school and stuff like that. So she knows a little bit of something to dealing with this. And I got the feeling, Dre just feels like she's being pushed out. And I don't want Dre to I don't know. I feel like we finna see a shift in Dre. Like cause when that doctor came up, I thought she was about to hit on the doctor. Okay, cause she like, I didn't sign up for this. That's what it seemed like. You know what I'm saying? Am I the only one that got that feeling about Dre, especially when she came back up in the room and she saw them all laid up in the bed together? And then the episode ends with Kevin going into Ronnie's room and we see him kind of like tear up a little bit, but the tears never fall. And he didn't know really what to say but to say thank you. But Ronnie, he was crying, you know. This was a good episode. It was a good episode. I liked it. You guys tell me how you felt about it. And I will see you later. Peace.